myself off the floor.
Welcome to Difficult Conversations About Beauty. My name is Anita East, and I'm a nurse practitioner specialising in aesthetic, skin, and integrative medicine. I'm so delighted to have you here. But can I get you to do me a favour and just look around you out there? It can be super confusing trying to work out what's true and what's not in this world of beauty and health. So during each episode, we seek to dispel the myths, find the truth, and empower one another with ready-to-implement advice that will make your life so much better than before you started listening. Just as a reminder, the podcast is not intended as a substitute for the medical advice of legitimate healthcare practitioners. The listener should regularly consult a healthcare practitioner in matters relating to their health, particularly with respect to any symptoms that may require diagnosis or medical attention. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy. Well, welcome again to Difficult Conversations About Beauty. From this year, from 2024, we're starting a whole new way of doing things. So at the start of the month, so the second Wednesday of each month, we'll be releasing an episode with a special guest. Then a fortnight later, I will be doing a solo episode. And in that episode, I'm going to be exploring a little bit further a couple of the points that our guest earlier in that month has inspired for me to do. So it might be a topic that they discussed in our little chat that's made me go, wow, that's really interesting. I don't know about that. I'm going to research that. Or that's really interesting. I haven't been doing that. I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks making sure that I do. And then I'm reporting back to my audience to let you know what happens. So to kick off this year, to kick off January, what I've done is I've expanded on the concept that Dr. Ryan introduced, and that was the concept of having fun. Now, if you're anything like me, you are very good at ensuring that you get your to-do list written and that you try and tick things off it. I've actually experienced a burnout as a result of being so task-driven in the past. Back in 2019, I saw myself in a pretty bad way because of my desire to achieve things and prove maybe to myself, prove to others. Perhaps it was a case of me suffering from imposter syndrome or something. I don't know. In essence, it was a case of me trying to make everything perfect for everyone. And in doing so, I stretched myself way too thin. And of course, the thing that suffered the most was me. I was trying to keep my patients happy, keep my family happy, keep my friends happy, keep my perceived professional community happy. And none of those things I was doing exceptionally well because I was spreading myself, like I said, too thin. And I ended up getting very, very unwell, meaning that I had to have time off to really reflect and decide what was important to me. Now, I did learn and I changed my ways, conceivably probably for about 9 months, maybe not even that long. And then the old perfectionism, the old people pleaser, the old must prove myself to everyone crept back in again. And that was really difficult. So I've made a really concerted effort after my interview with Dr. Ryan Shannon and his gorgeously light approach to life and to medicine and to health and to everything that he does, to really focus on being joyful and finding magic and really kind of focusing on having fun. So, first way I've done this, and I plan on continuing this throughout the year, hopefully, or as long as I certainly can. But the first way I've done this is we do a vision board in my little family. We do a vision board every single year. And we did it last night. And can I just say that mine was an absolute failure? And that's why I'm recording this today, because it certainly was my motivation because of how badly I did my vision board and how little I've learnt, obviously. That's why I'm here today talking to you about having fun and creating magic. So my vision board last night that I wrote consisted of tasks that I needed to achieve this year. It consisted of things that essentially were tick off. It was a tick off box to say basically that I must achieve this, I must achieve that, I must achieve this. And while I was sat there doing my vision board and my family were doing theirs around me, theirs were lighthearted and more about things that made them feel a certain way. Mine were essentially achieving things. So I must achieve this. I must write this book. I must do this. I must achieve this financial reward. I must achieve this with my children. But it was not actually, I must have fun, or I want to have fun, or I want to lighten. I want to see things in a lighter manner. And so what I did was I ripped up that vision board this morning, and instead I've changed it to simply 4 words, 2 sentences, and they are: have fun, create magic. Now, I don't know how this is going to happen, and it's really hard to fight the temptation to sit there and start listing off ways that I'm going to have fun and that I'm going to create magic. But that completely defeats the purpose in terms of wherever I find myself at the time, wherever I happen to be, whatever I'm doing, then I'm going to find the way that I can have fun in that moment in time. And if I start kind of planning how I'm going to have fun, well, who's to say that when I do that thing that's supposedly going to bring me fun, that I actually have fun? Maybe because I achieve it and I get there and I'm there going, oh, I'm meant to be having fun doing this. Perhaps I don't actually have fun. Perhaps I don't feel any magic, and maybe it feels like just another chore, just another thing to tick off so that I can say, well, I've done that. Yes, I've done that. What next? Oh, yes, I've got to do this. I've got to do that. There are certain things in life, like folding the washing, hanging out the washing, doing the washing, putting the clothes away. Sure, they're a tick and flick list. We can write those out, or we don't have to write them out because we know we need to do them. They're a list of things that we know that we need to do. We know that we need to go to the shops. We know that we need to buy certain ingredients if we want to make a certain meal. But setting huge plans to achieve certain things at the start of the year feels really counterproductive to finding joy, because unless you have having fun, finding joy, and creating magic as the methods by which you achieve something, they just sound really hard to do. Like, I know that I want to write my second book. I know that. But if I just have that, write my second book, or write my fiction, or write my nonfiction written down, write my courses, release my courses. If I just have those things written down, then it feels like a huge, huge hurdle in terms of trying to actually get to that point where I'm in the space where I can do those things. I know that they're the things that I want to achieve. I know that they're the things that I want to do. So if I start every day thinking, today I'm going to have fun, I don't sit there and mean that I'm going to literally do backflips all day, or I'm going to, you know, because fun can be found in doing one step towards a goal. That's fun. But I'm really going to focus based on my chat with Ryan that in situations, in every situation you're in, take a lighthearted approach to it. Don't be so serious. What's that thing where they're like, we're so serious? There's no need to be so serious. The world's serious enough. My plan for this year is to lighten up. Doesn't mean the things that I want to achieve aren't going to happen. It just means that my approach to those things, my approach to life, my approach to my children, my family, and most importantly, my approach to myself are going to be a lot lighter and a lot more loving. So that's what I've taken away from my chat with Dr. Ryan Shannon, which was released earlier in this month. And something else that he talked about, which I'm really grasping, and I thank him, and I thank also a previous guest that I've had on my podcast, Agnes, who they both have impeccable style. And the thing I love about their style is that they have their individual style. Their style is so individual to them. And as a, 40-something-year-old woman, I have been struggling with my sense of style and my sense of fashion. My body's changing. I no longer fit into the sizes that I used to fit into. My body bulges in ways, in areas that it never used to. And that's hard. So I've also taken on board Ryan's suggestion that we should use our own sense of style and the freedom that we have in being able to express ourselves through our sense of style. And I've taken that to heart. And that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing more on wearing clothes, wearing jewelry, wearing things that bring me joy and make me feel that sense of fun and make me feel that magic. So, as I'm going to be doing at the end of every single podcast from now on, is I'm going to draw a card from my pack of affirmation cards, the Unique Beauty affirmation cards, and there's 52 of them. So I'm going to draw a card, and that card will inform the rest of the month for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle my cards, so you can probably hear me shuffling them. And I'm going to pick a card. And that card is going to help me decide how the two things that I've talked about in terms of having fun, creating magic, experiencing joy, finding joy, and secondly, tapping into my own sense of style and fashion. This card that I pick right now is going to help guide that for me. So I have picked card love. That's beautiful. So the card is called Love, and this is what it says. Oh gosh, this is beautiful. Okay. True love is at the precise point where inhalation stops and exhalation begins. The moment when your breath is most free, your inner being is most open. True love is when your soul and the souls of others are most vulnerable. Wow. And you lovingly accept yourself and others as they come before you. Wow, that that card couldn't actually, I don't think it could be more poignant for those two topics. Finding joy, having fun, creating magic, and embracing your sense of style and your sense of fashion. Wow. I'm just going to read this section again. The moment when your breath is most free, your inner being is most open, is at that precise point where inhalation stops and exhalation begins. So there's like that little moment of pause, isn't there, after we breathe in and before we breathe out. And at that point, anything is possible. So thank you for tuning in again to Difficult Conversations About Beauty. We love having you here, and we can't wait to see you again in a fortnight's time when you will be delighted with our guest. I cannot wait to share our next guest with you. But in the meantime, have a wonderful time, create lots of magic, have lots of fun, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this episode, please share. Remember to give it 5 stars and write me a kind review. Remember, kindness always comes back to us. All discussed links will be in our show notes. And until next time, may you revel in your beautiful and unique faces, both today and always.